Hello, this is AJ Diliberto, insurance agent out here in California. Today we're going to talk about what is insurance and try to do it in a very non-boring way and very quick and easy to understand. So, what is insurance? It really is just this idea of transferring risk from you to the insurance company, right? There's something a risk you don't want to have to pay for. Like for instance, you want to be covered for a hospital stay. You're worried that if something happened to you were taken to the hospital, you had an accident, you fell, you fainted, cracked your head open, whatever, all right, whatever it is that happened. Okay. You had some weird illness, all of a sudden you had a fever of however much, right? And this happens, really at least once or twice a year. I hear about a story about how someone ended up in the hospital and they had a high fever, some virus or something. They did all kinds of tests, spent all kinds of money, and then they still never figured out what it was. Okay. Do you want to be covered for that type of risk? Right. So that's the kind of thing that it is. And so then you're going to pay the insurance company some amount of money to cover some or all of that risk. And then they'll pay whatever they're agreed to pay. Could be some of it, could be all of it, depending on how much you want to pay, what's your budget, what's your age, what risks are you looking to cover. So that really is it. So you're going to transfer the risk to them for a price. That is insurance. And it doesn't matter if it's car insurance. Do you want to be protected if your car gets totaled, or you don't want to be protected, right? So anything that you're looking to do, you want to get an insurance on an appliance you bought, you want to be covered in the event it breaks, or you don't want to be covered. You buy a phone, you want to be covered if you drop it, or you don't want to be covered. So just really simple, right? That's just the concept. Now, the alternative to having insurance is you pay for the risk. You take the risk. That's called self-insurance. Some people say I'm not insured. And that's not really altogether true. I mean, you don't have insurance, you're not paying for insurance, but you're self-insuring. You're saying you're going to take the risk. You've accepted the risk for paying that. So that's just, again, that just is what it is. But do you want to take the risk of a hospital stay? I mean, you take the risk of a phone is one thing. But this is where we've got to make decisions in life. If we've got a certain amount of budget for any kind of insurance, can we buy everything? Can we buy every insurance we need, all the life insurance we need, all the car insurance, everything's the top insurance? Well, some people can, most people can't. And so we've got to pick and choose what we really want to be covered for and what we are willing to have exposed, right? What are we willing to self-insure, if you will? So now with health insurance, you've got to figure out what risks do you want to cover, especially if the high costs are getting to you and you don't want to, pay as much money as you have to pay to cover all of the risks. What is important to you? Are doctor visits important to you? Are accidents or some sort of a catastrophic situation? This hospital stay that I bring up, a lot of people bring that up as that's concerning to them. So what it is, so whatever, prescriptions, right? If you're taking prescriptions, that's important to you. So everyone's got whatever's important to them. And of course, there's Affordable Care Act, plans that utilize, your income, and through our, out here in California, we've got Covered California. There's different states have different, mechanisms for getting people lower cost insurance based on their income level. Okay, and we can deal with that on another video. But the whole point here is you've got to know what you're looking to cover, what kind of dollars you have. Okay, because most of us want the insurance company to take all the risk. Okay, because they're just some big insurance company. Okay, and we think they don't have to make money, right? But if they go out of business, then we don't have insurance, right? So they have to be profitable enough, obviously. So they charge premiums that we all think is too much. And I agree with you. They're too much. They should not be as high as they are. They should be more reasonably priced, but they're not. And so we have to figure out, what are we going to do about that, right? You either pay it, if you have the wherewithal, you pay it. If you have an income situation where we can get it lowered because of the Affordable Care Act, then we have to go that route. Okay, but some people are going to be in different kinds of situations where they make too much money to be, and we have this problem in California where we can make a pretty good amount of money and still it doesn't go very far because of rent and different kinds of, mortgage payments, prices of housing. All of these things are so high that a higher income level doesn't necessarily go as far as it would in maybe the middle of the country somewhere. So anyway, all that said, right, the point is we all want to get the most insurance at the least price. And that's just us being consumers and Americans, and we should want that as well, right? But we have to know how much is too much, right? So, if it was $100 a month for, say, you get everything covered, the greatest insurance in the world for $100. Well, let me tell you, there are some people who are watching this right now and they're going, that's me, right? There's something called the Silver 94 plan and the Silver 87 plan. and here in covered California. And they are really, it could be $50 a month for the greatest insurance in the world. No deductibles, $5 copays. You wouldn't believe it if you didn't have one of these plans, how amazing it is and how low cost. But you've got to be at a certain income level. So the downside of that is you're not making a lot of money, right? But sometimes, again, with business owners and different kinds of things, situations, maybe a layoff, or again, something has happened in your situation that we're able to take advantage of the law in a way that is, legal, obviously, but helps you to save money just in that 1 year. This is why you got to check in with me every year. All right. If you're my client, we check in, we talk about it. What's changed? What's new? What's this? Okay. Sometimes whatever you were paying you might not be able to afford it now. Maybe last year you could afford it. This year you can't afford it. So we have to relook at all of those things. How do we approach all of these situations? But you got to know how much is too much, because all of a sudden they say, well, no, just kidding. It's really $300. You go, okay, well, I don't really want to pay $300. I mean, I had a client today, we were talking about it, and they had, again, one of these really, really good plans that people are paying. First of all, you can't even buy some of these plans. They're so good. They're not even available. If someone is, billionaire, they can't buy some of these plans that you get if you have a low income here in California. Just it's remarkable, right? So, but still, so someone's paying $100 and their premium goes up to $300. Like, that's a lot of money. Okay, the normal consumer, it's like a 200% or a 300% increase. Well, yes, right? Yes, but still ridiculously good insurance at a way lower price than everyone else is paying. But still, no one wants to pay more. No one wants to pay $300 for something that last year they got for $100, right? Isn't that, that's kind of how we all are. So you got to know, right? But what if it's $600? What are you going to say? No, I'm not getting insurance. Well, some people say that. Some people say, I can't do it. I will literally cannot pay my bills and pay whatever, even if it's 300, even if it's 100. If you can't pay your bills, you can't pay your bills. Then we got to figure something out. What can you afford for what it is we're trying to do here? And this is where you got to know. So anyway, summary here is that the insurance company here is going to help you cover risks that you don't want to have to pay yourself. You may have to prioritize that list. Again, that is something I can help you with. Been a CFP and financial planner for many years. Okay, I can help people to make those better decisions. That's the whole idea of this channel, is to help you make better decisions. But many times you need someone to talk with, and that's why my information is below, so that you can contact me directly and we can, talk about these types of things. Okay, and there's no cost for you to give me a call and we have a conversation, things like that. That's another beauty about using an insurance agent. You don't pay anymore. The insurance agent gets paid by the company, and so it doesn't cost you anything to get good advice, right? It doesn't cost you anything to get good advice. Why wouldn't you do that? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. All right. So anyway, you got to know what risk you want to cover. And ultimately, you got to know what you're willing to pay for that coverage. We can match all those things up and figure out what is best for you. That is a big deal here, right? Not what's best for somebody else, not what's best for your neighbor, your mom, or your sister, your brother, because everyone's got their own situation. It's one thing I learned long ago in financial planning, is that everybody's got a different situation. You can have people who grew up in the same house, twins, do the same thing for a living, and still each of them is different, with different needs, different fears, different, ways that they approach things. Okay. So you are unique and you approach it in your way. And that's what we want to do, is help you figure out what's best for you. Anyway, this is AJ signing out. Hopefully I will be talking to you soon. If nothing else, I will see you on the next video.